Hey, what up? Just want to share my thoughts on on the results of the Javante Davis versus Rollie Romero fight that happened on Saturday. Um, it went exactly how I thought it was gonna go. A little bit, my prediction with my prediction being a six round KO. I was right on the money with that. So I was happy with that I got the prediction correct. But the fight itself. I think the fight was I think it was more tactical. However long it lasted, I think it was more tactical than I thought it would have been. I think that you can say to Rollie's credit, he wasn't as reckless up until he got knocked out. But the fight itself, um, let's just say this: a lot of folks would say that the fight was competitive, which I think it was competitive. But a lot of folks were I don't want to say they was giving Rollie too much credit, but I think they were giving him more of like a moral victory, kind of say, by saying that Rollie was outboxing Tank, or Rollie was winning this X amount of rounds, or this or that. They're basically trying to give him a moral victory, and I don't think there's a moral victory in this. You still got knocked out, in my opinion. It's not even an opinion; it's a fact. And so, you have people out there trying to give Rollie a moral victory because he lasted or he made it competitive. Just because a fight is competitive or he's making the rounds kind of competitive doesn't mean that he was on Tank's level. Tank still showed me that he was on another level, a superior fighter than Rollie. You have guys. For example, you got Teofimo Lopez, you got Ryan Garcia, who are basically in the same weight classes as Rollie and Javon Tank Davis, or around the same weight classes, and they're basically going on, and saying that the fight was Rollie was winning the fight up until the loss, which is pretty much cap, and I kind of not kind of, but I really hate how some of these fighters behave. Um, just because they know that Tank Davis is a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like you could still respect your opponent or a possible opponent while still giving them credit. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to try to downplay their win, or you know what I'm saying? And that could partly part of their bias or their partiality, being partial to Rollie is because they're friends of Rollie. But come on, man, y'all know from the jump, even before the fight happened, that Javante Tank Davis was the favorite. Y'all know damn well, even before the fight, mentally, you knew, you may have not want to say it, but you know mentally that Tank Davis was better than him. And if you didn't know that, then that has a lot to do with you. That has more to say about yourself. How could you not know that Tank Davis had the edge over Rollie? Yeah, a lot of people like to say that, Rollie, um, he's a big puncher. Okay. Other than he's a big puncher, what else did he has? You know what I'm saying? What else? No one else was oh, like I say he was awkward. All right, I kind of understand that, but still, a boxer like Tank Davis, and this is the thing that I have a difficulty with a lot of, you know, whether it's casual boxing fans or just boxing, the boxing portrayal of Tank, that he's only a puncher. He's not only just a puncher. You know, that's the thing about it, and this is a misconception. This is a narrative that's always out there. If a guy's getting everybody out, so if he's knocking everybody out, people like to relegate that boxer to just being a puncher. If the boxer is a superb technician and he's going all 12 rounds, oh, now he's a boring boxer. He's just a boring boxer. He's not getting anybody out of there. So there's no middle ground in this game. So I kind of annoys me. But Tank is a superb boxer. He's a superb boxer. I don't know where this narrative that he's only just a puncher. I understand that's what all you see um, him doing, and he's getting people out of there. I understand that because he had what is it, 27 fights, 25 knockouts. So those 25 knockouts kind of, it kind of basically it's kind of flashes out there, that he's a big puncher, but that's not all that he is. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easy to knock out 25 fighters. There's a lot of guys who have a lot of punching power, but may not have the same ratio. You get what I'm saying? And so there's an art to what he's doing in getting these people out of there. That means he's an excellent finisher. That means he has the wherewithal to get these people out of there. It's not only just his physical abilities, but he has the makeup and the skills and the abilities, and he knows how to put the right punches together to get those opponents out of there. And so it's not just punching power. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he has a gift, a physical gift that allows him to generate um, those that kind of torque on his punches. Yes, but it's also the way he sets it up, how he gets them, how he lures his fighters to be susceptible to his punches and his punching power. And we've seen that again with Rollie and how he knocked out Rollie. Rollie was, like I said in my prediction, he was going to be the problem with Rollie, I said before, is he's always off balance, and then he's always off balance. And me personally, I don't like the way he throws his punches or his jabs and stuff like that. That's me personally, and I don't like his footwork. But I also said that his balance was going to be his issue too, and that's what it was too. And he lent himself to Gervonta Davis actually running into a shot, and so that's what happened. But yeah, this whole idea that Tank doesn't know how to box, the guy's a superb boxer. I think he's one of the most skilled in the game. Him, Shakur, Devin. Um, that's top. That's a top. That's off the top of my head. Those three guys are probably the most skilled in the game to me, in my opinion. You can add Lomachenko there too, but yeah, those are the most skilled boxers to me, in my opinion. Doesn't matter what weight division. Those three boxers, including Lomachenko, very, very skilled and elite. Um, you seen his last fight with Isaac Cruz. He showed that, and especially in that fight, he really showed that he can box. One of his hands got hurt, and he was basically using one hand for the whole fight, fighting on his back foot. Any boxer that can fight on their back foot is one of the best fighters when we're talking about skill wise. And Gervonta Tank Davis shows that he can find his back foot. If you can't find your back foot, you can't claim to be. I'm not saying you can't claim to be skilled, but you can't claim to be the top of the game echelon when it comes to skills. Not to say that those fighters can't be beaten, because even skilled fighters who can fight on the back foot could be beaten by someone who's less skilled. So we can put that aside. But I'm just saying, if you're talking about just pound for pound skill, the best fighters are the ones who have great footwork and will fight on the back foot. That's the best fighters right there. Those are the best. And so, yeah, he showed that in his fight. When it comes to the idea or the narrative that it was a competitive fight, yeah, it was a competitive fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Rollie Romero. But at the same time, looking at the fight, regardless of how competitive the rounds may have looked, first you got to put into context, there weren't that much punches being thrown by both fighters. Both fighters had respect for the other guy's power, and so no one wanted to make any, quick mistake. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the first thing. And so both fighters threw less than 120 punches throughout 6 rounds, up until how long it lasted. So you're talking about a small punch count by both fighters, and a small landed punches by both fighters. And so the copy box numbers were really and particularly close or very similar. Now the copy box number favored Gervonta just by a little bit, but not much of a difference where you can really pick from it. You know what I'm saying? But it favored Gervonta Tank Davis. But what I did see though is that there was a little shift in terms of you can say the tides were beginning to change, and I would say I think it would be the 4th round. The 4th or 5th round, Gervonta Tank Davis, he landed a double-digit punches that round, and you could start to feel like, okay, the tides are changing. He's getting more comfortable in that ring, or he's getting more comfortable, kind of letting his, dictating the fight or taking the fight or upping the pace, basically. And so, like I said, the first 3 rounds, it really wasn't. I don't want to say they were pick 'em rounds, but it wasn't. I wasn't really scoring the fight like that per se. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so little punches thrown. You know what I'm saying? But even with that being said, Tank Davis was still dictating the fight on his terms. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there weren't that much punches thrown, there weren't that much punches landed, but you felt the fight still being in Tank Davis's favor, or him still dictating the fight. And so, like I said, the 4th round, I felt like there was a change, and from there, Tank Davis started to take over. But I had to say that to say there's a lot of people saying the fight or the rounds were competitive. It's like, yeah, the rounds were competitive, but it still was not. Rollie was not dictating anything in that fight. There's not one round where I felt like, okay, Rollie knew what he's doing, or he had some confidence. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the whole fight, it felt like Rollie was still getting comfortable. And like I said before, they both respected each other, but Tank was dictating the fight. from round one to all the way to round up until he got knocked out. Now, had this fight going on past 6 rounds, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think, yeah, he did knock him out. Tank did knock him out. I don't think he was. I don't want to say he was not, like. It felt like he didn't. How do I say this? It felt like he knocked him out by mistake. If I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just happened to knock him out. I'm not saying he didn't set it up. Obviously, he set it up. He baited him in, but it felt like he was. It felt like Tank wanted more. You know what I'm saying? Out of the fight. But had the fight gone on past the 6th round, you would have seen Tank picking it up, knockdown or not. Tank was picking it up after the 6th round, the 6th round. Because after the 4th round, he started picking it up, man. He started picking it up, and I'm telling you, had he had that knockdown happen or not, Tank was going to increasingly pick up the pressure, and you would really have seen the difference, or really see the difference in the levels. You would have really seen the difference of levels. And so I only had to say that because folks are so, you know, you have folks so bent whole on saying that Rollie made it competitive, or Rollie won 5 rounds. Like, come on, man. If I would have gave Rollie, I would probably would have gave Rollie two rounds, 2 or 3 rounds at most, 2 or 3 rounds. I'm not giving him 4 or 5 rounds. Come on, man. Like I said, because there weren't even that much punches being thrown in the fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was bound to someone getting hurt or someone landing a big shot. They weren't throwing that much punches. You know what I'm saying? So it's as if they're both was waiting for the other opponent to make a mistake. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like they're both bound, or they both knew someone was gonna get hurt or get tagged with a big shot. And so that's how it was. But the superior boxer is the one that's going to be to execute that kind of shot, and that was Gervonta Tank Davis. And so, yeah, I had to get that out, man. I had to get that out. I just don't like how certain fighters are being so disingenuous about the fight. Come on, man. But that's the fight. That's the way I felt about it. Where do we go from here, man? Tank, sky's the limit for him. I really want to see him against the winner of the Cambosis versus Devin Haney, or even get into a match with Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia, I don't know if he's willing to take that fight. To be honest, I don't know. But that's the aftermath of that fight. Where does Rollie go from here? Who knows? Is he elite? Is he an elite fighter when it comes to 135? No, I still don't think so. I think all the 135 pounders beat him. Top 135 pounders beat him. That's just my opinion. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll holler at y'all later.